What else is
So
out
let's
there?
do Raw, which is the feature debut from writer-director Julia Ducournau, who it's a French-Belgian co-production. And I think it's a really terrific movie, a movie which manages to take an intimate tale of an identity crisis and somehow blend it with Cronenbergian body horror and humour and heartbreak. So the story is a young woman played by Garance Marillier arrives at a veterinary college. She is a vegetarian, and we see her at the very beginning of this. She's in a roadside cafe. She's served mashed potato, which has some sausage in it, which she immediately spits out, and her parents say, "Oh, how terrible, you could have had an allergic reaction." She then arrives at the college where there is the most intense hazing rituals, the initiation rituals. You are rookies, therefore you have to go, crawl on all fours, you have to dress up, you have to, be subjected.
Humiliation.
To all manner of humiliation, one of which is that she's forced to eat a raw rabbit liver, which she refuses to do, but her sister, who's already been there, parents went to the same college, her sister says, "Look, just do it, just get through it." Suddenly, something happens to her, and she starts to discover that she has appetites that were previously completely hidden. And I don't want to say too much about the film, because in a way, the discovery about what those appetites are is part of the joy of it. But you will know, if you've seen anything about it, that it's a film that has the best way of expressing this. It's a film that owes a debt to, on the one hand, Claire Denis' Trouble Every Day. On the other hand, the Mexican movie We Are What We Are. It is a film about sins of the flesh, but more importantly, what it is it's a film about a desire to fit in. I think it's a really, really smart movie. There were stories when it first started playing about people freaking out in the audiences, people just being, any film that even vaguely addresses, ideas of, cannibalism and ideas of fleshiness and anything that deals with that. Immediately people get the edge. And when the film first played in festival, there were stories of people fainting, people, literally not being able to make it through the film. Which is weird because it does the film a disservice. Yes, there are extreme cinema moments in it. Yes, there are things that are very, very sort of provocative. But what's more important is the way in which it's like a kind of, it's a fairy tale telling of a story about somebody who wants to fit in, who discovers that they don't fit in. And as they discover that, they wonder about what the world then looks like. It's a film which, for all its moments of, gasp, it also has, it's very funny, it's very satirical. As a piece of cinema, it's a very, you were talking about just a minute ago, is it cinematic? It's incredibly boldly cinematic. From the opening still shot, which is very sort of haunting and very strange, to the sequences in which we're led in single shot through these student raves and this world which seems terribly oppressive and terribly aggressive. And in the center of it is our heroine, whose body and mind are changing as the world around her sort of starts to change her. And it becomes, on the one hand, a coming-of-age story. On the other hand, like a modern retelling of an ancient tragedy. On some levels, it's almost like a modern-day Grimm's fairy tale told from within the confines of the gingerbread house. Terrific use of music, a really, really sort of well-chosen use of pop music that reminded me, for example, of a film like, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, the Anne Lily Amirpour movie, in which you can tell that it's directed by somebody who lives and breathes music. And really, really great performances. And a film which just knows exactly how far it can push a certain thing. There's an interesting thing about Julia Ducournau, was that at the age of 6, she saw Texas Chainsaw, the Tobe Hooper movie, on television by mistake. And because she was at a dinner party, and apparently her parents put her in a room and it was on television. She saw some of it. And she's always been interested in horror films. But it's not, in the case of Raw, what it is it's made by somebody who absolutely understands the iconography of that stuff, but also understands that what they're doing is something beyond that, is something which is melancholy, and something which is humorous, and something which is heartbreaking, and something which is fundamentally raw.